Welcome, this is the White Filth Vinyl end of the year video. Some of you are waiting for it, others will hate it, but here it is. I decided to break it up in two parts. First thing we're going to do is records not on vinyl, 15, the top 20 of the full lengths. The cap off was they should be, or always is, they should be in the collection just to mark it somewhere and make something out of this insanity. It was a good year for records. First half of the year, records kind of didn't come out for the most part because people were waiting to see if they could play it live and just have a good rollout. But then a switch came, I think, with a lot of people, and they just knew people were waiting for records and didn't have anything else to do. So they all got released at the same time, which got a bit of a backlog. One order didn't came in that had two records that are definitely in my top Werewolf records. So first part is not on vinyl, then we do the runner-ups maybe, then EPs, and then we'll do the full lengths and something a bit more. It's a special. We are having a drink, of course. Of course. This is the wildly inappropriate, I guess, Dark Sister from Brussels Beer Project, a Belgian IPA, just to give this a nice hipster feel. In we go, not on vinyl. That means records that I desperately want but couldn't afford. For some reason didn't make it in. Wagner Ødegaard, Om Cosmos, Och de 12 Jaartekken. The two previous ones were from last year. I spent them all the time because they reminded me of Sid, my boy. Those were the only tapes I took to the hospital, so the entire time I was there listening to those tapes. A new full length, so it's only fair that it's in. Caustic Wound, Dead Posture, the death metal grind shit, punk, everything you want mashed into one. Brilliant record. Came out on Headsplit, which will show up. Incredible label. But yeah, it got bounced from my order together with this one, so it's not here. I'll track it down. Werewolf with Devil Crisis. It's also in the package. We had to wait for a long time on a Werewolf full length, a true Werewolf. Kind of think it delivered at first when I heard it. Kind of had the synth parts were kind of Euro song-ish, but it grew on me a lot, and I like it. It's a very whole record. It just it works. Carved Cross, Embittered Amidst the Ashes, just too expensive to get it here around this time of year. It had to come from Australia. There were a few just distros maybe that picked it up, but I haven't seen it affordable. Abhorrency with their 2020 demo got a tape release through Stygian, I think, self-released, and then Maggot Stomp picked it up. Really good, Black and Dead, 3-piece. Yeah, great. Pharmacist, Medical Renditions of Grinding Decomposition, which hats off to them for the most ugly, brutal cover of the year. It's not even Carcass Worship, it's beyond. It's a Carcass meets Pissgrave. The music is equally disturbed, but yeah, really sick record. Haven't seen it pop up. Then Perverted Ceremony with Cavernous Hallucinations. Apparently there was a promo, friends only tape with promo material for a new record. I think. Haven't heard the tracks. I'm not sure. I don't think it's digital because I must have seen it, but yeah, not friendly enough, I guess. Innumerable Forms with Despotic Rule. Acherontis hyped me to these guys. Death metal on Iron Lung, that is insane. A lot of members from bands I love and I cherish. Was hunting down the tape. I just did a trade today for the full length, so yeah, that's cool. Forgotten Kingdoms, one of the few Dungeons and records I actually cared about this year, which is fantastic, straight from Australia. Great stuff. Bone Owl, an Obelisk marks the line. A new Bone Owl is always good, but once again, haven't seen it pop up. It's incredibly expensive to get it over here. New Era was going to have copies, but haven't seen it. Same goes for Ebony Pendant, one-man raw black metal, if you will. I think it's just the name raw because the guy has good production, playing style is incredible. The records, I have to read my own. Incantation of Eschatological Mysticism. Great full length. It wasn't Aschach, I just, it passed me by. And Hedonist, Spectral Voice with Abject Darkness, Ineffable Winds, I guess. Split between these two death doom bands. I didn't know and had Donist too well, of course. Spectral Voice. Yeah, 7-inch. To get it from America is insane. Then Ymir with their self-titled on Werewolf Records from, blanking on where they're from, really good record that got, they started out in the early 90s, then it got, you know, they picked the band back up with different members, and it's just really, really good records. Black metal, synths, everything you want, that cold feel, it's all there. Great cover photo. Necrovault with Totenzucht Festering Peregrination, I think. Black and Dead on Van Records, looked insane. Purple Record, Dead March, all over it. Haven't really delved into it too much, but on first listen it immediately clicked, and that's saying something. Then the last one for Werewolf, Moon Citadel, Night Scarlet Symphonies, their first full length after the demos that came out on Dark and Black, I think. Incredible records. 2-piece now, incredible records. And then the last one is the last recommendation I got from Watchtowers. Oily Boys with Crow Memory Grin, one of those burly punk, you know. But just like Big Cheese or maybe Lumpy and the Dumpers, that kind of world, but a little bit more Brain Bombs influenced, if you will. Yeah, really cool shit. We'll do the runner-ups first, and then break, or do DPs and then break. We're doing good on time, so yeah. Actually, this is the second time because I wanted to do it all in one video. But it was even too much for me. And comparing to last year, and I know this is saying nothing coming from me, but compared to the last years, I have bought severely less records, and I hope it continues to just, you know, I'm selling a lot, trading a lot to get some air into the collection, but we'll see. I made some statements in previous years that, you know. Let's delve into the runner-ups, records that are in the collection that I love, but that are just in the collection that I didn't get to know too well, but just, you know, great stuff. First one, right over there, and we're going. Serpent Column with Endless Detainment. I loved the previous one from them to death. It is very barragey, full black metal, chaotic, just keeps on going on Mystic Cows. Really insane. I haven't delved into this one. It's kind of the same sound, didn't change too much, but you know, I still love that sound. Obscuritatum with Romnikats Mraka, I think. Sorry. Talked about it then. It is one of those records that is a bit hard for me to get into at that time it came out, just because of the mindset I was in. I was going to. A lot of the top 20 is about fun records, fun experience, fun listening, and that was not fun. Obscuritatum is rarely fun, but very cool. What is fun is Bib Deluxe. It should be in the line with Big Cheese, Oily Boys, Lumpy, you know, very good, aggressive punk, leading into hardcore, great stuff. Then we have Shagor with Sotte Kucht on Babylon Doom Cults. What's up, yo? Yeah, just came in, listened to it a lot in these past few days at work. I listened to it a few times. 2-piece, it has these chanty vocals over some really atmospheric black metal. It just works. It's the first thing I think I know from these guys, or that they have, but it's great. Then Void Prayer, The Grandiose Return to the Void. Really love that band, really love everything that's behind it, the people that are behind it, but it got on the backlog because of a record that's definitely in the top 20, so heard it a bunch of times, but not enough to, you know, get it in. And once again, these are not in order. The top 20 is also not in order. The favorites are in the last part, but you know. Then we have Dumal. Here we go with The Confessor. I loved the previous one, the something with God. I'm blanking. This one is equally or even bigger. It is definitely a large full length to get into, but in the sea of records that came out, it just fell a bit to the wayside. Bodaschroop, Near the Shores of Kotal, was actually in the pile of the 21st, but I had to switch it out for a record that came in a little late that I knew digitally, but sounded equally badass. What I did love, and the fact that I kept returning to it, is not only the sound, but the cover is insane. With the black hole, the mirror, and the way he almost looks like Batman standing on the shores of Kotal, I guess. Great record, and actually the first that clicked for me from Bodaschroop. Yeah. Cool shit. Raw, if you will. Raw black metal. Then, Titan Blood. This record is going to be in my top 2021, I think. It is too dense, it is too big, it is too much for me to wholly appreciate. It's like Scaffy in a sense that it's It has so much going on. It has to catch you at the right time. But I love every Titan Blood record. I will fall in love with this one and deserves a spot. Beatles, The Womb of Zero over there. On Territory Possessions, big sounding, majestic sounding black metal. Still a bit raw and heavy. It kind of sound-wise reminded me of Satanists from Behemoth. That sound, not that, this is more Territory, if you will. Guys from Behexen, if I'm not mistaken, one other band, but I'm kind of blanking. Majestic Mass, Savage Empire of Death. This one with the naked chick. I was kind of drunk. I was going into the shower and then I saw it pop up, and someone, I think Canyon, recommended it. I just clicked order and I didn't look back. It is a very gritty sound. Yeah, a bit hypnotic. What I remember. It's a great record, but it's on that wall and not in this pile. Ancient Burial, Beyond the Watchtowers. This guy on Signal Rex, great record, came out of nowhere for me from Signal Rex. Bit of the same situation as this guy over here, just popped up and I fell for the only 100 or something, so I just grabbed it, hoping that it wasn't too lo-fi, too cavernous, but it's actually a very good production, very outstanding black metal records from a crazy 3-piece. I don't know if they are on the back per se, but yeah, here they are. Fell in love with this picture and then decided to pick it up. Great record. Then, a little bit into a different world, Geld, Beyond the Floor. Once again, Vip, Geld, hardcore punk, if you will, more punk, from Australia, really good. Loved their previous records, and I love this one. Isengard with Varie von Down. Here we go, Fenris. Polarizing record. A lot of people hate it, a lot of people love it. I love it. It is like a sketchbook of a coloring book, if you will. It's just a bunch of wild ideas thrown together. What I remember is that it's a fun record to listen to. I know why people maybe don't like it, but I heard it the first time and I put a smile on my face, so it's still here. One that should have been in the top, but came in way too late and had that caustic wound tail on it, but shouldn't color it. It is the Off Feather and Bones with Sulfuric Disintegration. This one, great record, heavy, dense, Blackened Death. Love their previous one, live, incredible, really atmospheric, if you will, death metal. The riff on the third track, the end riff, is it gets me going, so had to be in there. A early record for 2020 on New Era is this one, Tyranny, Baron of Argentens Smarta. I think it had to be, Smartadatus had to be in here somehow, so he is with this. Then a record that should have been, I think if it came out last year, it should have been in my top 5, but I kind of fell out. I listened to a lot of death metal this year. Kind of fell off the raw black metal American scene. This is Lampier with Awaiting the Predatory Dreamscape. Sorry. And it gets title of the year because when I hear, Awaiting the Predatory Dreamscape, my mind does some weird jumps. But yeah, still in love with, the project and the sound, and it is, and it will forever be Lampier. One of the first, bands I fell in love with in that style, in that category, from a Youth Attack update, and that is true. Second to last, Turia, Degen van het Licht, Degen van Licht, Dutch trio, Rezes Novio Magi, we talked about it a lot. In Grondwerk, I talked about it a lot. The last show I saw, actually, really good records, wide open, but still with some dense, with some harsh, not harsh, but well played. They have their own style. It's just, I think it's good black metal. It's atmospheric, bit of romantic. They have a lot of these mountainscapes. You see the mountain on the cover, I hear the mountain in the music. And then the last is Carved Cross with Severance of Disparity in Absolute Acrimony. I didn't get the last full length. At least I got this through my buddy David Acherantes. Really good record, everything Carved Cross does. I had trouble with it, getting into it at first, because it's so staticky, it's so full, it's a lot, but if you keep listening and keep digging through the layers, there is gold in those Australian hills. So yeah, that is the top this, top that, top everything. We are still running good. I'm going to do the EPs and then do the full lengths in the last video just to break these up. Last thing is the honorable mention, and I thought this was going to be my record of the year. Turned out, and I wasn't going to cheat. If I'm not mistaken, everything in here is from 2020 except for this one. This is Crave with Norda Ricketts Street. Watchtowers would have taken the #1 spot. It is one of the best black metal records I heard this year. I grabbed it from Babylon Doomcall's distro at a show at the Boss, so I had it from this year, but came out last year. It is Watchtowers Mysticism Productions, but the vocal thing is a bit different here. He has this high-pitched golem-ish vocals with the denser, harder, heavier vocals running through it. Do yourself a favor and check it out. They have this one, and I throw it in on the floor, of course. They have this one, and there's a 7-inch. God damn it. That's too bad. But yeah. My records live, I guess. So yeah, that's that. We'll do the EPs. I'm quarter of an hour in, so that's good. EP top 20. I'm going to do some records and some tapes. First one, Geheimnisvol, Bodasroop, once again. 12-inch, mostly for the Geheimnisvol side. Sadly called it quits after some, I don't know, some bullshit. They were supposed to, I was supposed to see them in Holland when they did the Italian, Holland and Denmark maybe tour, but you know, they called it quits in the middle of the tour. I guess I know why, but I don't want to talk about it, so yeah. That's the first very good split. 2 tracks, one by each. Not sure. Noord and Teufels Hout on the mighty Black Gangrene. What's up, Alex? Hope you have a wonderful year in 2021. Another one from Black Gangrene and one of the only raw, if you will, black metal records I bought and listened to. This is the Lamp of Murmur with Burning Spears of Crimson Agony on Black Gangrene. He had a lot of releases this year. I think I only picked up this one. There's a full length coming, I guess, on Dead Color Records, but yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4 tracks. It's in the, is it a full or is it an EP? I say it's raw black metal, but once again, this is one of those, like Ebony Pendant maybe, projects that pull a bit out of the too murky, too cavernous, too raw scene and, you know, put some listenability into the genre, if you will. Lamp of Murmur. And then a bit of a cheat, I guess, because this is Forbidden Citadel Demo 6, which actually I think came out last year on tape, but it's such a cool pressing from Medieval Prophecy Records that I decided to include it, since maybe the tape went by too fast for some people. Really great picture. It's the color version of the, I think, of the black and whites on the tape. Could be mistaken, but yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tracks on here. Yeah, intro, so 4 tracks, intro and outro. Yeah, love this band, love these, I love the guy, I mean, great. There we go. Had to be in there, some chauvinistic Belgian black. Then, our neighboring countries and some Canada, Ifrenach and Inbunche. I was waiting for a long time for this split, actually, since I heard rumors it was coming out. They both went to each other a bit in the sense that Ifrenach is more black metal per se, Inbunche is more hard punk influenced black metal, and they just overlapped a bit. So Ifrenach is doing a bit more punk, and Inbunche is doing a bit more black metal, but it's a full fleshed out EP split. Came with this Forgotten Kingdoms that was in my other list. Yeah, it's great. It's on New Era. It is by far my most expensive EP for this year, but it's, you know, kind of worth it in a sense. But yeah, look at the track listing on that one. Really good stuff. If you can find it, it's getting a repress, so please do not spend, you know, your life savings on this EP or on an EP. Yeah, New Era. Good on you. This came out on Tour de Garde. It's distributed by New Era. Then Impure. I picked up 2. Loved their full length last year. I think it was on my top. I guess I'm not sure anymore. This is their EP Calls. It had a name, I'm pretty sure. Let's see, Damned, their Damned EP, follow up to the full length. Guys from New York, I think, and this came out on Weird War, a Portland, label, gallery, art house, film house, whatever you want to call it. Crushing you as black metal in the macabre shadow of Hellhammer, Beherit, Vaughn, Archgoat, and Slayer. Worship them. It says black metal. I hear a little of both black and death. Damned in Eternity, Worship Them. Crush of Mystical Satanism, Vital Dead is one of those records that is, in depth to the first wave and then Till Death. So it says here, all music written and arranged by Impure, and then Till Death is written by Hanneman, so a Slayer cover. It has trash, it has everything, but it's a very good mixture and well played. Really great EP. Check it out, pick this up. I'm not sure if it's still available from Weird War, but it's not the last time that label will pop up. Then an EP, Cryptworm with Reeking Gunk of Abhorrence. It sounds like it looks, it sounds like the title. I'm not sure where they're from, that I didn't look up, but yeah. Festering Maggot Infestation, Reeking Gunk of Abhorrence, Self-Dismemberment, which is insane. Cesspool of Perpetual Decay. It's that kind, it's grindy, it's putrid, it's dead. It's this face, but then, in music. This came out on Mesaka, and this is the first one on Mesaka in this list, a label that I put my spotlight on heavy this year. I knew of their existence, I ordered from them, I have some of their releases, but goddamn, they had a year. So yeah, this is the first one, Cryptworm. Australian? If I had to guess. Then, since we're into death metal right now, let's do some tapes. I'm going to drink first. I've been talking a lot. It's not bad. Ditch the sweater because it's getting warm, and so you can see the guns. Tapes. First one, Tropical Sun by Fulci. Italian, Fulci worship, death metal. Yeah, nothing more. Nothing more, nothing less. It is a great tape. Like I said, promo. It has a lot of tracks, not promo, but it's also not it's a full, I don't know what's a full. I put it in the EPs, but yeah, full sheet. Really good. Seeping Zombie, Dead. Then, Denmark, Ascendancy. Records I'll put on the tape real quick. We're listening to Tahetas with Shrines to Absurdity, which should have been, or could have been, but came too late. Ascendancy, here we go, with their new tape, Birth of an Eternal Empire. Guys from the Denmark scene that play in all of the same bands, but they all have their own separate thing, their mark, leave their mark on it. Really love their the demo. This is basically their full length of their EP. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. But yeah, Ascendancy, really high up there. Then two tapes I talked about recently, but I wanted to showcase in this one. Larvae from Romania, and then Lephrophiliac with Necrosis from Spain. Two European bangers, Head Splits, and this is on Stygian. Disgusting Dennis. Yeah, it is actually very cool. Head Splits, one of the labels that I discovered this year that is insane. Their release rate is... They have on Instagram, you have labels are putting out what they did that year, and you can keep scrolling. Then a bit black to almost round off the tapes. This is Tirgul with Promo 2020, Modern Damsel and Spectre, Out of the Ashes of Blood Tyrant. I had to have a bit of Skikereich in here. Very cool 2-track promo that promises a lot for the future. So yeah, you know what to expect from these guys, I guess. And then the last tape, which is basically my, it even surpassed Lephrophiliac as EP tape of the year, but the tape of the year, Seep with Souvenirs of a Necrosadist on Gurgling Gore. It is by Vomitus, the guy behind Gurgling Gore, a one-man project, but he gets help by Meatsack on bass guitar. yeah, very good. I like the transfer on the tape. Very good death metal. One of the newer bands, Flag and Burial, Boiled and Piss, which, you know, I mean, track of one of the titles of the year. News of Entrails. Love this tape to death. I don't have it that long, but fell in love with the digital version. And then, you know, kept going with it. A 10-incher, and we're blasting through these EPs. Candelabrum and Sulfuric Night. Candelabrum sound is more akin to what you are used to from them. Sulfuric Night, in my opinion, is a bit different. That slumbers amidst the ruins. It's a 10-inch, so that's saying something that I picked it up on black and green. It got the sticker treatment, so you know it's good. I have to listen to the Sulfuric Night just a few more times just to get it in. To the Cobwebs of Non-Existence, That Awaits. And Candelabrum is the Labyrinth of Mist into the Oracle. Yeah. 2 new tracks from bands that I both love very much. Once again, Belgian band had to be included. Moonen of Xesbet. I was hoping for some new stuff from these guys. And Perverted Ceremony, which is basically the same band but different sound a bit. One is a bit Behrendt Worship. One has a bit more of an own sound, I guess. This is the split on Medieval Prophecy Records with Opbok. I'm not sure. Can't read it. Great label, great release, and you know, one track is better than no tracks. But yeah, cool thing. Then I have 6 more, I think. Sedimentum and Phobophilic, Canadian band, and a band from Fargo, USA. 2 bands. I knew Sedimentum from their demo from last year. Phobophilic was new to me. I give the edge to Phobophilic just because I didn't know them and their sound is a bit more what I was hoping or looking for. Then a 4th, this one Uvia and Setop, I think, or Sentop, I'm not sure, with their Summoning the Eclipse, a split or a collaboration between these 2 Mexican-US projects, if you will. Expect some Uvia, but also expect some very weird shit that has nothing to do with Uvia. Some ambient techno-ish. I talked about this in a few videos, so yeah, you know how I think about Uvia. It is a really sturdy boxed set, but it's, you know, for the fans, I think, more than Amor Fati is closed now. When they go back up, I think there are still some left, but I'm not sure. Here we go, had another Denmark project, the guy from Untergang with another Denmark rager. It says here, 4-track debut EP of dark death metal from the pits of the Danish underground on tape and LP. This is the LP EP from that band, Had, H-A-D. Great cover, took me immediately. Love the sound, love everything that's in there. I don't think there's a stinker in there, so yeah. 3 more. This had to be included, Stormkeep. At first I was a bit disappointed because my expectations were insanely high after the promo tape, after knowing that Blood Incantation folk were in here, after Fan was releasing them. Package-wise, it is incredible, from the logo to the cover to the posters to the pressing to promo pictures, everything. When I heard it, it missed a bit black metal for me. Don't get me wrong, this is a black metal record. It has a lot of synth passages, ambient passages, and I wished it was a bit more fully fleshed out. That's why I put it in the EP category, just like I did Blood Incantation last year. It's maybe a bit too short, or I haven't, have to put my focus on it a bit more. But yeah, still love this thing to death. Then my 2 absolute favorite EPs from this year. The first one is Lure with Morbid Funeral. We studied almost through it for Handwerk with Jo. It is a 3-tracker from the guy from Business for Satan, a French guy that has connections to the Belgian scene, or a part of the Belgian scene. If you can get your hands on this, as a recommendation, get this. This is, after we discussed on Handwerk, a bit of the American edgebore style in there somewhere. It has some American influences. There are some French influences, but not over the top. It is not Legion Noir, Jesus Christ. But yeah, it is a very good demo, but a demo of 45 minutes, 3 tracks, really fleshed out, really good guitar playing. If you want to see this, we have an episode of this record. and then my EP of the year, and then we're through this video, and only left thing to do is the full length, but this is the Septic with Septic Decadence. Like I said, I tried to get the original cover for this one. That's how much I love this. A 3-piece, but what I heard or what I read is that the guy in the middle wrote it entirely. It is, vocal-wise, a lion that is in a pit, that is roaring and going crazy. There are underlaying vocals that cut that vocal. The bass parts are incredible. There is such heavy, fast drumming that it's insane. There's groove on this little record. It's a, it's a 7-inch, but it's made me so hungry for more from these guys. That I've listened to this digitally I don't know how many times, because Spotify doesn't keep count for me. I think I must have heard it 50 times by now. I still haven't got tired of it. This is the blue and pink on Misaka on Oil. Love the record, love the cover, love how the logo works with the cover. I love everything about it, and I hope to God I will see these live soon. But yeah, 2 recommendations. They're all recommendations, but Septic and Lure, once again, very cool on Misaka. There you go. We were listening to Awards with their self-titled. Joel called it the De Mysteriis Dom Satanas from the Fallen Empire scene. It is a very cool record. It is not Mysterious Dom Satanas, but I know what it means. So yeah, we are going to do a few cool releases that are not full lengths, that are just demo stuff and compilations, and then we'll dive into the full lengths in the second video. So yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to get another beer, and I'll see you in part 2. Cheers. And thanks for the support this year. It's not lost on me, all the comments, all the trades, all the free stuff. I'm spitting. So yeah, I'll see you in part 2. Thank you. I'll thank you again.